Good morning, good afternoon, Assalamu alaikum, wherever you're joining us from today. I welcome you to another one of our webinars on the Generation Women, the GenWOM Mentoring Program. And I'm so happy and glad that I'm joined by none other than Nudrat Mufti, who brings in a wealth of experience in the development sector. She works as a trainer, she works with a lot of people from the marginalized community. She spent years and years working for developing the socioeconomic strata, just looking at how economic development can come place. And today we are going to talk about developing a culture where we could do, creative problem solving. Those of you who are actually thinking about starting your own businesses, any ideas that come your way. What is an angle that you need to take when you have to be creative with your problem solving solutions? And the most important question, where are my stakeholders at? How do I identify कि मैंने कहाँ जाना है, कौन मेरा stakeholder है, and how can I tie that entire conversation up for the benefit of my startup or my idea? So Nudrat, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for taking out the time and being here with us.
Thank you very much.
So Nudrat, tell me a little, tell all the people who are watching us live or maybe watching this later, tell them something about your story, your career. How did it start off? How was your journey like, and where did it take you along the last years that you have spent in this particular field?
Okay, right. So I started my career in around 2002, and that's been more than 20 years in education sector and then in the development sector. So I have a various experience regarding startups, regarding the innovative ideas, regarding gender-based activities, and these kinds of things. So, my basic thematic focus was on governance, accountability, and voice. In all my professional duration, like before 2016, there was no concept of startups, but that flow with the different names as grants and research grants and then loans. So in 2014, when I went to Nepal for conducting a training of around 80 CSOs, and we made their 1 year plan, then I came to know that there is an area where the young generation can come up with their ideas and get a very supportive role from various stakeholders and investors in form of financial services. So from there, I came across all these kinds of things. And till now, I was engaged in the startup world with a few times within NIC, with the Women Chamber of Commerce in Pakistan. Then recently, I completed one of the assignment in Ghana. That was a visual work, and that was an excellent experience with the young girls and boys and their ideas from the vulnerable communities. They want to grow, they want to come up and cover up the challenges they are facing. So now I am getting this opportunity with the Gen Women, and hopefully provide and navigate the practical situation to the mentees. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Nodra. Thank you for explaining. And I really liked what you're sharing that across the globe, the thematic is pretty much the same. The problems कभी खत्म नहीं होनी. हमेशा कोई ना कोई economic, social, environmental, strategic level की problems जो हैं वो हर दुनिया के हर मुल्क में होती हैं. And specifically when we are looking at Pakistan, we are also seeing this trend where more and more the younger generation is coming forward and they are trying to put in, I would say, their contribution in terms of looking at how social entrepreneurship is working. So let us tackle some of your international experience, so because you've worked as an international consultant as well with different countries. So I wanted to ask you that when it comes to social entrepreneurship, um, is there a similarity that you see between, how the social entrepreneurial sector is working in Pakistan and then how it's working internationally.
Okay. Like if we talk about international scenario, it's a little bit different. Like
Yeah,
if we compare uh, Ghana with Pakistan, the scenario is totally different. Our students are more into AI, digital media, all these things. And I feel very sorry because those students from Ghana, they even do not know how to make a PowerPoint and how to make on Canva, and they are not very much into the terminology.
yeah,
And if we go and compare it with Tajikistan, they have their own climate, their own cultural areas, so that variate from them. But the major difference internationally is with the students when they are up to AI and they have an approach towards the digital world and
yeah,
when they are far away of it. So that's
yeah,
the basic difference these days.
yeah.
Thematic
So
areas are more or less same everywhere.
but the competency is, you're saying that it's really better, but what we also feel here is, Nudra, that a lot of our kids also, they're now getting started, like you're saying, that at an initial level, at the school level also, the digital skills are being inculcated into the students. They really want that, the schools also want it, plus the children are also excited about it. But let's talk about some of the social problems. So, in Pakistan, we see that literacy is a huge problem. The inclusion, the diversity, the fact that quality education is available across the country and the different, you could say, provinces as well, and then at the government level and then at the private level. So that's like a pretty similar theme. So let's talk about, I think, before we go on to problem solving, let's talk about, some of the problems as well. Nujrat, as per your experience, what do you feel personally that in the social sector, what are some of the bigger problems that, we could very easily solve with developing social enterprises?
Like if we divide it according to the provinces, because in Pakistan we have a very clear variation in the
Yeah,
cultural and social aspect, even in the financial aspect, in
yeah,
all the fields. So
yeah,
if we come across KP, most of the students design their startup on mainly the skill development. Then they are more job oriented and they need some kind of bigger forums to express themselves. If we come across Punjab, the students are comparatively a little bit modern because of the contribution of centers like NIC, National Incubation Center. We also have centers in other provinces now,
yeah,
but Punjab, the government contributions, the methodology of the student who are studying there, and secondly, the terminology the institutions are using. So they are very much familiar about the stakeholder, the startup, the why casing, the business case. And if we go towards Sindh, not including Karachi because it's very modern city, the other interior Sindh areas, the students are very competent, but they are more focused on developing their language, especially English, and they are more focused on working towards the disaster climate because they are suffering from. And if we go to Balochistan, the startup ideas are a little bit different because their economic, physical, and other scenarios are totally different from other provinces. And they're more concerned about adding the security component in each of the startup idea. Either it relates to a job or to a home-based work or any kind of tuition centers or any kind of IT-based idea. And in GP, it's very modern kind of trend. Like I worked there for more than 2 years and also engaged with many of the students. So they have no security issues there. They are modern in their living and they have more modern ideas because of the contribution of Baba. So that's a little bit variation. And if we talk about HAK, they are more focused about education.
Yeah, that's a really, and I completely agree with your analysis that the regions, as we like to call them, they all have their, I think, also like a cultural mindset where they're working on certain ideas that we see. A lot of kids are now also thinking about climate resilience, climate change is affecting, so they're working on climate action initiatives. We do see at a smaller scale that a lot of new ideas and new startup ideas are coming on the process of digitalization, on how we're using technology to access and just scale up their ideas, take the services sector and even in the product sector as well, just taking them to scale as well. Plus we also see a shift in terms of right outside of university. When you were talking about Karachi, I understood that it's more metropolitan. You are set
Yeah.
in our ways. I did my schooling from there, and we were more set in our ways that we're getting ready for the corporate world, because that's the culture of the city, and that's the rat race that you have to be a part of. So let's talk about now some creative problem solving, Nusrat. I know that you must get across a lot of students, a lot of like startups as well, a lot of new professionals who come to you with their pitch decks, and they give you a solution. हो सकता है वो सारी रिसाइकलिंग पे हो, तो एक जैसी रिसाइकलिंग वाली सारी पिक्चर्स आती हैं, फिर एक जैसी सारी डिजिटल एजुकेशन की आती हैं, फिर एक जैसी सारी आती हैं कि हम सस्टेनेबल फैशन पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो हम ये करेंगे, ये करेंगे, ये करेंगे. Where do you think and what is the process essentially of when somebody has to sit down and look at uh, finding a solution which is creative yet solves the same problem?
उसमें सबसे पहले मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगी कि स्टार्टअप की खूबसूरती ये है कि दे बिलोंग टू अ ड्रीम, नॉट टू द vulnerability, marginalized community, ability or disability or any other sector or even
Hmm.
the thematic. So
Hmm.
it's important कि एक बच्चा किसी बहुत डिफरेंट या अर्बन बैकग्राउंड से नहीं आया तो उसकी ड्रीम छोटी हो. So it's
Hmm.
a beautiful thing that whenever they come up with their ideas, it's how they are groomed
Yeah.
and what ideas and environment they have inside them.
Yeah.
So it's not
True.
important हर दफा जो ideas आए they are totally based on the thematic or the geographical coverage. Now,
Hmm.
if we
Hmm.
come to the creative problem solving methods,
Yeah.
it's a systematic method. And when I engaged with the international students, I come to know that in Pakistan, although we designed the startup and we tell the students to how to go up and do these steps, but they are not logically very much linked up
Hmm.
because we do the mentors there who are in specifically get their education in that specific sector.
Yeah.
So they have come from different areas and then they contribute to the mentees regarding their work. So
Hmm.
for that purpose, the first very important thing is to identify
Yeah.
that what exactly is the customer problem in your specific area. So when it comes to the problem, then it goes to the problem solving and the creator needs to create a solution that needs to be very innovative and out of box.
Yeah.
So this is the very first step which is required to work on it and create an idea and a solution which is
Yeah, no,
next.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think what you're also saying about mentoring is, Nudrat, that we generally have a culture of not asking. And a lot of times you would have also felt, I have also felt it, that every time I've interacted with startups and we are in a place where we are capacity building on their skill sets, there would be a few who would be reluctant to share their uniqueness. And they're like, no, ma'am, but if we share it, it's going to get copied. But
Yeah, exactly.
precisely. And what we need to share with them is that if you don't share, you're not going to be able to refine it. You're not going to be able to test it. You're not going to get valuable feedback that you need for somebody to actually tell you that these three things are great in your idea, but these four things can be adjusted. And nobody likes adjustment because, everybody loves their ideas and everybody loves their babies. But, when you have to address a particular area which could improve it, that is something that is really, I think difficult to do as well. But then we need to create a culture that's conducive enough for that creativity to flow.
It's very important to give awareness regarding the intellectual laws in Pakistan
Yeah,
and the copyrights and all those things. So if the students for who are making their startups, if they have the confidence that their idea will stay with them, or it's be their property or their baby, you use a very cute word. So they are going to make more improvement. So if we
absolutely.
come to the creative problem solving method, the most important thing is to solve problem that are people are willing to pay. This
Yeah.
is the tagline for
Yeah, absolutely. Because until unless there is a financial caveat attached to it, it's not going to be something which is sustainable. So passion eventually has to lead to some kind of results that we can produce to look at the business viability of things as well. Um, on that note, let's move on to now the stakeholders. So important. I think you have mentioned quite a lot of them already. But वो थोड़े शायद फॉर्मल है और वो शायद सबकी रसाई में नहीं है. Everybody cannot access such formal, you could say, stakeholders that they could seek mentoring from, or they could perhaps get guidance, or they could be incubated at space. So what other stakeholders, Nudra? Then you can share your personal experience, and then perhaps I can also share some of my personal experiences as to where I have found those stakeholders that have really helped us, and what are some of the areas where youngsters, whether they are in uni, whether they're struggling with a career opportunity, whether you're at the brink where you're deciding which subjects you should be taking, what is the angle if you want to switch from one subject to the other, how do you do that? So where should these youngsters go to find the right stakeholders?
इसमें मैं आपसे अपना एक छोटा सा एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूंगी when we are designing programs for international donors or we are applying for the grants and the process तो उसमें हर चीज इनबिल्ट होती है स्टेप वाइज फॉर एग्जांपल आई project in Sunni Balochistan as head of programs. So वहाँ पे they have a design program, they have startups, they have mentors. First they got the training in vocational center, then they started their own online Darzi or online digital computer centers or repair centers, but they in the process they are linked it with the stakeholders. Like for example, PPL is working in Sui Balochistan. So most of the students who completed their education, they were sent to PPL as internees, and then they got their on-job trainings regarding all this. So in our case, it's an idea which we need to design, but overall startup cannot be connected with a stakeholder, or it's not easy for a student to join and get a feedback from a stakeholder. For that purpose, internationally two main areas, sorry, internationally two main areas are addressing. One is the desk review. You need to work on your problem, its solution, its creativity, its innovation, and your services to the customer, designing the research. and the desk review what exactly is required, and then do some kind of secondary and primary study. For that purpose, then you need to do the mapping of the stakeholders, which is very important. Mapping of the stakeholders then again linked up with the disability, feasibility, and visibility of the overall startup.
Yeah, this is so right, Nudrat, and I completely echo you when you were saying, what you're saying. I completely agree to it. कि हम कितना stress करते हैं कि just try out, just speak to your real customers also. Stakeholders, yes, people who will guide you, who will take you to that level. They are definitely going to come, but then you know if you're speaking, if you're reaching out to your actual end user, तो वो आपको कितनी ज्यादा insights देते हैं. I always have a 6 step approach that can you understand what your customer is seeing, hearing, doing, talking, feeling. What are the thought processes like? If you have that 6 strategy approach coming in from your actual customers, from your actual stakeholders, आपका entire जो purpose hai of your idea, that switches, and you get to do a lot of tweaks as well. So I'd also like to share something personal here, because I think a lot of my professional mentoring has come in just from observing my stakeholders. So, just from observing how seniors have acted around in the space. We do have a component in the GenWom Nudrat, which is around confidence and public speaking. And a lot of what I have learned 20 years has been, I've not had any formal public speaking training, but it has
Right.
come from just observing different stakeholders. And that could be, like a boss, it could be a counterpart, it could be somebody junior to you as well. Because, we take energies from youngsters as well, as to how they are evolving and what is their pitch like and what is their throw like. And that observation, I think, is a taught art. बिकॉज इतना क्लटर है हमारे पास इन कंटेंट का भी. हम कहते हैं, लोग ये कहते हैं, आप टेड टॉक्स देखें, आप स्पीकर्स को देखें, आप टोनी रॉबिन्स को देखें फॉर एग्जांपल. But then when you are observing someone, I could be observing you right now and getting inspired and getting inspiration and just learning some things that you are saying, and trying to process my brain to put those things into action. So that kind of like, I think a mentoring is free of cost also. And when you have an ecosystem and when you have access to people like yourselves who are professionals, is so important that a lot of I think youngsters find that safe spot to come in and say that this is an area that I need to develop, और उसको फिर आगे लेके चलें.
छोटा सा डिफरेंस और भी है कि लाइक जब हम डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में काम करते हैं तो टर्मिनोलॉजीज आर वेरी वेल डिफाइंड. So if we come in the business scenario, then a investor is someone different, a stakeholder is someone different, a beneficiary is some another person, and the person who is your customer, who is going to pay, is totally a different person. सो शायद बहुत इनिशियल में जब हम यूज करते हैं फिशबोन डायग्राम फॉर द क्रिएटिव प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग कंपोनेंट, और हम वहाँ पर अपने 5 Ws 1 H डिफाइन करते हैं, तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि वहाँ पर हर एक जगह पे सस्टेनेबिलिटी को कंसिडर करने के लिए की स्टेक होल्डर को आइडेंटिफाई. For example, if you are making an MIS based any kind of innovative idea, and it relates to management information system either in the education sector or in the health sector or in the gender sector, then it's very important कि वहाँ पर कौन से institutions हैं और कौन से government departments हैं in case of Pakistan who
Yeah.
are helping और हु आर द मेजर स्टेक होल्डर्स, कि आप किसी भी किस्म का चेंज करते हैं, आप किसी भी किस्म का इनोवेटिव आइडिया मार्केट में लाते हैं, आपको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, आपको उनके लेटर ऑफ सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत है, आपको उनके साथ एमओयूज़ करने हैं. So defining the right stakeholder and the relevant stakeholder is very important. आप जब इनिशियली शुरू करते हैं और एक वेक्स आइडिया होता है तो यू हैव 5 to 10 स्टेक होल्डर्स, बट जब आप प्रैक्टिकली उसको बजटेड करते हैं तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट यू विल वर्क ओनली ऑन द रेलेवेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स विच यूर बजटेड. So it's more or less parallel to your budget. If it's uh, available in the business case, it's workable. And if it's not, तो फिर they are not the relevant stakeholders.
Nudra, this is such a master class, and I'm enjoying it so much. And I'm pretty sure that we run so many programs with inspiring entrepreneurs that are as young as 15 years old, and they already have a business idea. And this is exactly the kind of language that we keep telling them that okay, identify, use the right vocabulary, like you're saying, just use like the right kind of words to beef up, and then also reach out to the absolute, like you're saying, the target audience. What is your bullseye? Who are you actually doing what you're doing for? So this is so interesting. I know I said we'll speak about 20 minutes, but it's already been 40, because we're enjoying so much. But just a final note, Nutrat, on that, we'll definitely have more of these episodes with you, in which we'll speak about gender mainstreaming, because I do know for a fact that a lot of our young girls and boys in our cohorts, they are really excited about just gender mainstreaming as well. They are also looking at the monitoring event and evaluation, and I think that's a huge aspect when you are looking at working in the donor sector. You have to be a monitoring and evaluation specialist as well. So
Just the
just
risk also.
yeah, absolutely. Just a final word, Nudrat. I know you're a part of this and you volunteered your time to be a part of GenWom, and we couldn't be more excited. What actually got you excited when you saw the post to become a part of that program? I'd really want to hear from you.
Okay. Uh, just I told you, I have completed one of the assignments of 3 months with my Ghana students, and three of them go to the final uh, startup positions. So when I saw your post, it gave me an idea to navigate a particular situation, discuss it with the students, and come up with a solution. So in this, I will learn from the Gen Z what exactly are their ideas and then give my mentorship to improve it.
Absolutely. And we're so excited, Nubrat, and I think this has been a wonderful
Okay.
session that we're doing alongside the Gen Mom, where we thought that we'd provide extra CPD, extra mentoring opportunities. Thank you so much for taking out your time. For those of you who still haven't applied and want to know more about Gen Mom, you want to know more about who our mentors are from across the globe, Nudrat being one of them, just hop onto the website mindworksinternational.com/GenWarm. GenWarm is what you see right at the back, and you'd be able to see the profile of all the mentors that we have on board. It's an ongoing program, 6 weeks roughly the timeline. But let me tell you and assure you that once you are part of any of Mindworks international programs, you are in it with us forever. So that mentoring actually continues across programs. Whenever you feel like reaching out to us, you become a part of our larger fraternity. So, and the program is live as we speak. We do have a cohort that is already started off with us, who will seek these mentoring opportunities. And if you are one of them, just hop onto the website, which is mindworksinternational.com/GenWarm, and you would find all the information to the program on that. Um, Time wise, what is required of you is up to you, but minimum we suggest up to 3 to 4 hours per week is what we are looking at in terms of your contributions to come on board as a mentee and get access to these mentors that we have cherry picked from across the globe for you, so that you could improve not only your career progression, but also start thinking about out of the box ideas, ideas that you have perhaps put at the back burner in your brains, to then put it into action, be inspired enough on those. So, on that note, Nudra, thank you so much. I'm sure our mentees would be more than glad and happy to have a session with you. And we look forward to having you back again for
We are
another
also
webinar
waiting for
really soon.
them.
Go
Thank you,
ahead.
and we are also waiting for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Nudra. Take care.